Monday night with the greatest show on dirt. We will be under the lights soon at Devitt Park in Oklahoma City for Texas and Stanford. Round 4 this season and round 2 at the World Series. 2 of the 3 National Player of the Year finalists are ready to go head-to-head again. Reese Atwood leading the country in RBIs, and the amazing Nyjari Kennedy pitching Stanford all the way to the semifinals and trying to keep this magical run going. Over Florida, Bella Dayton leads it off, and away we go. Texas and Stanford for the 4th time this season at 6:06 Central on Monday, June the 3rd. And it's Nyjari Kennedy who's thrown every inning of the World Series for Stanford, starting for the 4th time. Her 1-0 is up and away to Bella Dayton, the Longhorns' leadoff hitter and left fielder. Texas 54-8, one shy of a school record for wins. Stanford 50-16, second most wins in program history for the Cardinal as well. Chad steers the plate umpire signaling for strike 1 on Bella Dayton. Kennedy fires one in at 73 for strike 2. The velocity is good early for Nyjari Kennedy, who threw 97 pitches last night in a 3-1 win over UCLA, striking out 8 and not walking a soul. Dayton with a bouncing ball to second. That's Taryn Kern, and Dayton is retired on the ground to begin the night.
You mentioned that Nyjari Kennedy hitting 73 on the gun already, and what makes it even harder is that it's 73 up in the zone with a very little reaction time, paired with her changeup at 55. The effective velocity that works between those 2 pitches makes her so tough to get on time and on plane with. One moves down, one moves up. 7.5 ERA this season.
The undisputed best pitcher in the country will be the first pitcher to lead the nation in ERA back-to-back years since Virginia Tech's Angela Tincher did it 16 years ago. And Kennedy has 65 more strikeouts than anybody in the country. 18 double-digit strikeout games. One of those was against Texas. 11 punch-outs in a win in Austin February 24th. There's a strike to Mia Scott.
Yeah, it definitely helps that Texas has seen her a lot. If you are a Texas fan, that they've already faced on this field. Very comfortable in the box against the best pitcher in the country.
Ball outside.
3-1 to Scott on an 81-degree evening in Oklahoma City, a day that was pushed back a few hours in terms of our first start time because of lightning and storms. And because of that, the decision was made that if Florida beat Oklahoma, any if necessary games would be played tomorrow. Had Oklahoma won, this series would have been scheduled to finish tonight, 1 game or 2. 3-2. Scott slaps it the other way. A base hit for Mia Scott, who continues her superlative World Series.
Mia Scott is just an incredible athlete. She can beat you in a lot of different ways. Shortens up with 2 strikes. She can beat you with the long ball, punch it the other way, let Nyjari Kennedy supply the power and just find a hole on the left side. Trying to work on top of the rise ball Texas is early in this game with 2 balls on the ground off their bats.
Scott 3 for 5 with a walk, a sac bunt, a home run, 2 RBIs at the World Series. And a base runner for Viviana Martinez, the Longhorn sophomore shortstop. Maybe the Horns' best hitter in this postseason run. Martinez has an on-base percentage of .613 and a slugging percentage of .889 here in the postseason. Leads the NCAA tournament field with 15 hits, 27 at-bats, and 5 of those have gone for extra bases. Off speed for a strike.
She has really good hands, Vivi Martinez does, and she can get to a lot of different pitches. She can cover the outside corner, and she can turn on a pitch that's 75 up and in her hands. can spray the ball all over the field with power.
Been a real breakout season for her. Sophomore who did have a very good year last season. 346, OPS of 923, but those numbers have skyrocketed. On a 2-2, Martinez pops one to Curran on the outfield grass. And there are 2 outs, but there is a first inning opportunity for the Big 12 Player of the Year, Reese Atwood.
Now batting catcher number 14, Reese Atwood.
She has not driven in a run in 3 games, Reese Atwood, which is tied for her longest RBI-less drought of the year. She's sitting on 90. And that pitch gets away off the glove of Ali Kaneshiro, and that moves Mia Scott up to second.
Already in this first inning, we're seeing Nyjah Kennedy miss a lot down and in, and it is very much reminding me of the first time that she threw against Texas on Thursday night, missing down and in. Looks like that's supposed to be a rise ball falling out of her hand.
Reese Atwood in the game against Kennedy on Thursday. Struck out swinging, walked, lined out to third. She does have a home run against Nyjah back in February, but on the whole, Kennedy has pitched her well. Last RBI was a go-ahead single in the 6th inning, game 2 of the Supers against Texas A&M. That changeup in the dirt. Scott at second after what is ruled a pass ball against Ali Kaneshiro.
And Reese Atwood is very good this year at handling up in the zone. Hitting close to 500 on rise balls this season. That's why I think she's going to get a heavy dose of changeups here already early in this game. You're seeing Nyjah Kennedy pull out that pitch and not have great command with it early like she did against UCLA the other night.
With a base open, we'll see if Kennedy gives Atwood anything to hit. She really didn't, and Reese tried to hit it anyway.
Helped her out a little bit with that curveball that was moving away from her.
Scott at second, hoping to be the game's first run. Kennedy's 3-2. Atwood takes a called strike 3. And a strikeout ends the inning. The only hit against Tegan Cavan, who gets the ball again for Mike White's Longhorns.
Yeah, we talked about Nyjah Kennedy's rise ball, and that is Tegan Cavan's favorite pitch as well, that she will throw the most up in the zone, and she can throw her rise ball on multiple levels. She has such good spin, paired with good velocity at 65, and then dropping her changeup down to 54. That rise ball, she will get underneath it to be able to move it up in the zone. Her changeup, she will get more on top of it at her release to move it more down in the zone. Those two splits, both north and south, and with her speeds, makes her very difficult to barrel up. But throw a rise ball so far this season, almost 80% of the time. And that changeup, a newer pitch for her in her freshman year, 16% of the time.
Tegan Cavan, Taryn Kern. First pitch rise ball is high to the ever-patient Stanford second baseman, an all Pac-12 selection. Kern hitting 174 in the NCAA tournament with an on-base percentage of .472, 10 walks, hit by 3 pitches, and she takes a rise ball right at the top of the zone. Taryn had an RBI double yesterday to give Stanford the lead for good in the 3rd inning. Cardinal knocked out UCLA 3-1 to send the Pac-12 champion Bruins packing.
Another one right at the top of the zone, moved it up, maybe even a half ball to a ball to see how far up she can get at the top end of the strike zone with the rise.
Kern, one of the most patient hitters in college, 80 free passes, 50 strikeouts, and she takes the first 4 here. Seeing 6 1/3 pitches per plate appearance here at the World Series. Yesterday, she worked the count full twice. She saw 19 pitches in 3 trips. And the 5th one here is strike 3. A changeup for Tegan Cavan. Out of the bag of tricks to start the game.
You'll notice that this changeup by Tegan Cavan fools a lot of hitters. She gets a lot of looking strikes down at the bottom half of the zone. More of a check swing, but you could tell just so much unsureness from Taryn Kern out of the hand of Cavan of whether she wanted to swing and what speed it was coming at.
Ball.
Little low ball one to Kira Chan. Cavan struck out Kern to begin the game on a 2-2 rise ball on Thursday. It's a 2-2 changeup to kick off the proceedings here on Monday. Chan drills one the other way, and Bella Dayton makes the catch with a little flourish.
It's a great swing by Kira Chan and a good sign for Stanford already early in this game, but Bella Dayton had a great read, and it was hit more or less just right at Bella Dayton as she goes down, but just wanting to make sure that she catches it. Bella Dayton covers a lot of area out there in left field.
We talk a lot about Texas's offense, deservedly so. We talk a lot about their pitching staff, deservedly so, but they are so much better defensively this year. Mike White's 6th team, and probably the best defensive team he's ever had in Austin.
Always been kind of the question mark since he's been the head coach at Texas is their fielding percentage and committing errors. But it seems like ever since they won that series against OU, every single aspect of their game has taken a step forward, including being more sure-handed on defense.
On a strike to Ava Call, who had the only hit against Cavan. And Gall takes a changeup in the dirt. What a breakout tournament. What a breakout World Series for the freshmen Gall and Jade Berry, hitting 3rd and 5th in the Stanford lineup. Gall is tied for the team lead in home runs. Berry's tied for 2nd in doubles, 2nd in RBIs and walks.
Ball.
Jessica Allister felt like Thursday in the loss to Texas, nerves played a little bit more of a role than they would have liked. But the team has been aggressive and assertive ever since then. And Gall, who's been right in the middle of it, takes strike 2. Here's what she's done in elimination games. A home run, knocked in 4. A payoff pitch coming. And Gall lifts it high into right. She gets under it. And Ashton Maloney gets under it. 1-2-3 first inning for Tegan Cavan.
Throw with good velocity, change speeds, but I love watching her energy and her emotion when she is out there competing.
Katie Stewart's hit by a pitch. Kennedy's first pitch here of the 2nd inning. So the freshman gets plunked as we check in with Alyssa Lang.
Yeah, guys, you're talking about Monica Abbott and comparing Nyjah to Caitlin Clark. A lot of players reference Monica Abbott, including Nyjah. She said, when I started pitching around age 10, my dad was my first pitching coach. Well, how did he teach me how to throw? He looked up YouTube videos of Monica Abbott. So she watched a lot of her as she was starting her early softball career.
Hey, why not model yourself after the best? And she certainly has. And she's been the best pitcher in the country the last 2 years. National Freshman of the Year, National Player of the Year back-to-back. A little bit low, ball 1 to Caden Henry, the Texas freshman. Kennedy has started with 6 consecutive first pitch balls, so the command not quite as crisp. Understandably so, as she's pitching for a 2nd straight day and a 4th day in 5. Henry slaps one out of play. What is the toughest part about pitching this much, 4 and 5 days?
Your legs start to feel really heavy. You can start to feel some soreness in a unique part of your body. Maybe it's your forearm. Maybe it's more of the back of your shoulder.
There's a bunt. Kennedy makes a diving play. The ball trickles away, and Stewart got hung up on first, and she gets back in safely as Stanford threw down to 2nd. but the all-defensive team pitcher in the Pac-12 makes a terrific catch to start it.
We'll just see her smiling, having some moments with her teammates out there, knowing that this might not have been the most graceful play, but it counts as an out. Kind of an unnecessary throw, and then the freshman Katie Stewart thought maybe she could be aggressive and take second base. That rise ball is going to cause a hitter to pop up a lot of bunts and getting the bottom half of the ball, but nevertheless, that was a big out for Stanford.
Well, graceful or not, Nyjah Kennedy is such a great athlete. She played a ton of different sports growing up. She was an elite basketball player. We found out this week she even played offensive line for a couple of years. Tackled football with her brother BJ, who plays football at Cal. She did hit a little bit this year as well. We haven't seen it in a while. She has 25 at-bats on the season and a couple of home runs. Alyssa Washington for Texas. Pops one up right side. Taryn Kern and Caitlin Limmer there. And it's Kern, the second baseman, who made the catch. There she is, a former Saint and Jayhawk football player, hometown of Topeka, Kansas. Nyjah told us that her brother BJ wanted to play football, and she ended up on the team. Coaches said, we like your brother, but we want to have you as well. Mom thought it was flag football at first. So she was a little bit perturbed initially, but the people who were the most perturbed, probably the ones who had to get around Nyjah, who has done it all and is in her second year at Stanford, second time in the World Series semis. Jolie Mitchell to right center field. Emily Jones will make the call, and Kennedy's got a couple more zeros on the board. Middle of her offense coming up.
The message was to her before coming into this one. He said, well, avoiding walks is going to be important. He said, but trust yourself, trust your defense, be yourself. You've gotten enough done for us to this point. Just go out and do it again.
Well, and she's looked great in the postseason, but this is actually the third time that Stanford has seen her this season. Back in February in Clearwater, she threw 4 innings, and then, of course, that opening round game, and she's only given up 3 hits to Stanford, despite them seeing her 3 different appearances.
Facing the middle of Stanford's order, Ali Kaneshiro here. 1-1. We wondered before the game if Texas might go a different direction. We have not seen their ERA leader, Citlali Gutierrez, in the World Series. And we did wonder, maybe with the possibility of Stanford needing to win 2 games today, might Texas go with Gutierrez? Gives you a little margin for error with Kavan and Matt Morgan on the back end. Maybe the simpler answer is the best. That certainly seems to be the case for Mike White, the way that Kavan has pitched.
Well, and the fact, too, that Stanford as a team is hitting under 200 off of the rise ball, and that is Kavan's best pitch that she goes to 80% of the time. We'll mix in that changeup that you just saw there as well. But, I mean, she has handled them well, and they have struggled this year with the rise.
We also saw Matt Morgan in the dugout to throw a 1-hitter. So Texas has 3 pitchers who've thrown like an ace for much of the season. Morgan's got a 188 ERA, Kavan 208, Gutierrez 179. We also have Estelle Check, Sophia Simpson. 3-1 fouled away by Kaneshiro. Might have helped out Kavan there. This is Ali Kaneshiro's 30th start in the NCAA tournament. 357 on base. She's driven in 18 and homered 3 times. A decorated Cardinal career at catcher. And Kaneshiro is late. Kavan rips a rise ball past her.
Likely late because she was looking for that changeup with 2 strikes. Instead, Kavan goes upstairs with the rise ball away from Kaneshiro, who has struggled this year hitting with 2 strikes. And rise ball is going to be the pitch that she goes to 80% of the time. She gets a swing and miss on that rise ball 24% of the time. But that changeup, the whiff rate goes up to 35%. Opponents hitting just 136 off of that pitch.
Where have you seen her grow the most throughout the year?
I think just her confidence. I think Tegan Kavan came in with great velocity, very good movement, good spin. She came in with the tools, and maybe it's that change up that she's gotten more confident in as the season has gone on.
That ball's pulled through the right side. The freshman Jade Berry has a one-out base hit. She's the first Stanford base runner.
Freshmen have stepped up in this Stanford order. Jade Berry and Ava Gall in particular. A lot of youth all throughout this lineup, but good job of Jade Berry getting the top half of the ball against a rise ball pitcher. Good approach and a couple of good swings this first time through the order. One from Chan and then good approach there by Berry.
Berry just a 184 hitter against the rise ball. Finds her way on. Here's Kaylin Cope.
On that changeup that we were talking about is a pitch that Coach White taught Tegan Cavan. Really just leaned on her rise ball and travel ball growing up. Could just throw that pitch and didn't really need to go down or change speeds much because her rise is so good.
Cope right back to Cavan. She'll go to second, get the lead out there, and Texas turns two. The shortstop Martinez was the fulcrum on a 1-6-3 inning ender.
I can't believe, even with the hesitation, that they were still able to turn the double play. You saw Cavan look one, and then her teammates were like, hey, go two, we got her. Quick turn by Martinez to finish it off. What a double play. The top of the zone with her rise ball at different levels and getting swings and misses. So just felt like in that opening round game on Thursday, her command wasn't quite there. She didn't have her best stuff. Maybe it's because that's just how the day was. Maybe it's because she was trying to pitch Texas carefully and respected their offense. Maybe she was a little bit tired, but she just didn't quite look herself, especially with how she threw against UCLA last night. That was an absolute gem.
You look at the elimination game numbers this season. She's thrown every pitch in the first 5, 2 earned runs, 33 innings. Aston Maloney tries to slap one low, strike 2. Was the regional final against Cal State Fullerton. Super Regionals games 2 and 3 against LSU. After LSU had run-ruled Stanford in the first, and then elimination games at the World Series against Oklahoma State and UCLA. And Stanford was prepared, maybe not for this many elimination games, but they were prepared for a moment where they'd really have to ride the right arm of Nigel Kennedy. They eased her in, Jessica Allister's team did, to the tournament, as she only started one of their final 6 games into the NCAA tournament.
And already in this one, seen some lower pitches in the zone, and with how much she relies on that rise ball, I have a feeling that her timing just a little bit off with that pitch. Just like that. When you see what looks to be like a rise ball, could be her trying to throw a screwball, but just go low and away like that to the lefties or low and in to the righties. That's that area that I circled. That's when you can tell her timing's just a little bit off.
That one was more inside. Right off the handle, Maloney grounds out right back to her. Well, the Women's College World Series Finals begin in just 2 days. Wednesday night, 8 Eastern, 7 Central on ESPN. For more information, go to NCAA.com. Your home for all 90 NCAA championships. Get in your swings now for the 2034 and 39 and beyond World Series Finals. Bella Dayton, first batter, second time through the order.
And only 1 strikeout for Nigel Kennedy the first time through. Remember, Texas has seen her a lot. A really good approach against her, and Nigel Kennedy just trying to continue to mix things against them, keep them off balance.
Dayton to the right side. Curran has to hurry. It's not in time. Bella Dayton spins an infield single to second.
Yeah, good at bat there by Bella Dayton. Second time in this game that she's been able to get the top half of the ball. And when you have speed like her and you put the ball on the ground, you have a chance to make the defense make a mistake or just to flat out run it out with your speed. Bella Dayton doing Bella Dayton things.
So if Texas is seeing what you're seeing right now, What adjustments should the Longhorns try to make the second time through?
I think that the first time through actually had a really good game plan against her. I think that they're being patient, not swinging and missing a ton of chasing. Good swing there too.
Scott out to left. Chan is there. So you're preaching, hey, the results aren't there yet, but the approach is good?
Yeah, exactly. And right now, she's not really throwing that changeup for a strike. Shown a lack of command with that pitch, so really they can just focus on her harder stuff, knowing that she's got to bring it up in the zone with her rise ball. Haven't seen her throw a ton of those higher rise balls that are at eye level.
2 down, Viviana Martinez. First pitch swinging, and on the screws to short. Pretty good contact, but the wrong location, and another scoreless inning for Kennedy. There would be 2 games tomorrow if Texas wins only the one. Center field, first pitch of this third inning, and Caden Henry makes a great diving play, robbing River Mailer of a hit.
The Texas outfield is so fast. We've seen Ashton Maloney and right make a great play. Bella Dayton and left, and now Caden Henry with one hit right at her. Had to make that split-second decision and read off the bat, and she nailed it. That ball was just tailing down like a drop ball. Nice play by the freshman out in center field.
Is there a center fielder we haven't seen make a great play in this World Series?
No, I think you could go out there right now and make a great play. I mean, that's just how good the center fielders are feeling right now out there.
I think you are wrong, but I appreciate the confidence anyway.
I'd love to see it, though. Can we make that happen?
What would the score have to be for me to get an inning? I have eligibility. Emily Jones, the Stanford center fielder at the plate. She made a great play the other night. Henry with tremendous speed. We've seen Kendra Falby. We've seen Jada Coleman of Oklahoma. Jones having a great last couple of days of the World Series. She squares to bunt, pulls back, and takes strike 2 from Tegan Cavan. Emily Jones, a regular number 2 hitter most of the year. It's dropped to 8th late in the season, and she's starting to hit like a number 2 hitter again. Jones pops one up, and it's caught by the third baseman, Scott. This has not been a strikeout fest between Cavan and Kennedy. Only 1 apiece. Both pitchers have been very efficient. Strike to the 9-hitter, Caitlin Lim.
Both of these pitchers have thrown to these hitters a lot, so having a good game plan against them and so much experience against each other this year.
Lim hit a home run Friday night against Oklahoma State. Jessica Allister is down the line, yelling and clapping, either to support Lim or maybe with the frustration over the strike called by Chad Steers. 0-2 for the Stanford senior.
Well, if she's going to get that changeup that's down at the knees, and also remember the rise ball that she was getting up at the top of the zone, that is tough for a hitter to go up against. Full spectrum vertically of the strike zone being called here today from top to bottom.
1-2. Graduate student from Irvine, Caitlin Lim, in a year that's really been dominated by the Stanford underclassmen. Lim and Kaneshiro have stepped up in big moments. 2 of her 5 home runs have come in elimination games. Only 3 in the other 60. Lim beats one into the ground. A second smoothly handled by Washington. Tegan Cavan with a 1-2-3 inning, thanks to another web gem.
Web gems all around for everybody. You get one, you get one, you get one. This time it was Caden Henry robbing River Mailer and pumping up her teammates. Need to pull everything. A lot of pull power over that left field wall. But when you look at the home runs that she's hit last year, she's hit more home runs. Obviously, is more than double that home run number, but also just using more of the middle of the field and hitting more to right center, being able to hit to more all parts of the field and hit different parts of the zone than last year.
High changeup gets by her from Kennedy, 1-1. What's allowed Reese to make such a drastic difference this year?
I think realizing it, not being a freshman anymore, and talking to her coaches, and she's just such a hard worker.
This one to second, caught by Kern on the line. So Atwood is 0 for 2.
Been pretty quiet here in the Women's College World Series, but that is the strength of this Texas offense. It's not just about one hitter and Reese Atwood, it's about 1 through 9.
And again, they're making decent contact. Only one strikeout the first time through the order for Kennedy. That ties a season low. And she still only has one. 4 batters into the second time. But the Longhorns on batted balls in play right now are just 2 for 11.
Well, and that's when you can tell how good of a pitcher that Nyjah Kennedy is that even though she is the type of pitcher that can pile up swings and misses and strikeouts very quickly, when she is a little off, when she is a little tired, when a team has seen her multiple times.
That's into the gap in right center. There's a batted ball in play for a hit. Stewart trying to leg it out for 2. She's safe. Katie Stewart, who drove in 4 on Saturday, has an opposite field double.
Okay, this is impressive by the freshman because we talk all the time about her pull power, but look at her in a hitter's count, letting this pitch travel on the outer half and going the opposite way with it. Katie Stewart finds herself in that 2-0 count. She has had quite the freshman year to have Reese Atwood's back and hit behind her and make teams pay.
Katie Stewart's first double off a rise ball this season. Her 13th overall, which is the second most on the Longhorns. She told us earlier in the year, because of her swing in the past, I was never the type to be a rise ball hitter. She said her old hitting coach would always talk about launch angle, getting under the ball to hit home run. She's tried to be a little bit more flat to the ball, and it's working out. 13 doubles, 13 homers in her first collegiate year. These freshmen for Texas, Stewart, who just had the double, and Caden Henry now, who's had the great catch, have been part of the backbone of this record-breaking Texas team. And after a changeup that missed badly, Tori Nyberg will visit with her pitcher and catcher.
That changeup has not really been a pitch that has been effective today through the zone. It's a pitch that she was just throwing on command against UCLA last night.
When a changeup frequently misses that poorly out of the zone, what is it in your mechanics that allow that to happen?
A changeup, especially for a high velocity pitcher, is such a rhythm and timing pitch and a feel pitch. And so when you are a little bit more tired, that feel is sometimes more difficult to have with that pitch. And I think maybe that's why it is just gone away from her. She's having trouble finding that consistent release point with it over and over and over again. And when you're on rhythm and on time with it, it just feels easy.
Caden Henry, who struggles against changeups, an excellent rise ball hitter. Grounds one foul after the visit from Nyberg. Again, Nyjah Kennedy's pitching for a 4th time in 5 days. So obviously she's not well rested. She's thrown every pitch of this World Series for Stanford. Every pitch of their last 6 games back to the Super Regionals. And she's still gutting it out. Another changeup, not close.
It's a great stop by Kaneshiro, too, to keep that in front. You can tell just missing that pitch a little bit low, falling off of it.
Stewart, the game's potential first run, is out at second. And Henry takes the changeup. There it is, just in the nick of time for strike 3.
I love the pitch call to go back to the changeup after missing it the pitch before. I guarantee Nyjah Kennedy thought there's no way that Kaden Henry is expecting me to throw it again. It opens the door for her to throw it through the zone and start to find that timing.
And now another rise ball, peppering the inside edge to Alyssa Washington. It takes some guts, that pitch call, that kind of level of trust between pitching coach and pitcher. It was a high risk, but an awfully high reward, as Kennedy is 1 out away from a 4th scoreless inning against the 2nd highest scoring team in the country. Washington had a 3-run home run on Saturday. The Texas captain takes ball 2.
You guys talk about that trust between Nyjah and Coach Nyberg. She told us earlier this week that Coach Nyberg says your best is better. She's always looking at our strengths as opposed to our opponent's weaknesses, and that gives her so much confidence in the circle.
She just drilled Washington with a wayward rise ball here. Alyssa Washington, the 2nd Texas batter hit by a pitch, and there are 2 on for Jolie Mitchell.
You can tell that there are these moments where she's just lacking her command, hits Alyssa Washington right on the shoulder, takes that the right way instead of moving into it, moves away from that pitch. That way she takes the brunt of it more on the backside of her body.
Now batting for Texas, number 9.
Goes back to those heat maps you were showing against Texas. Up and into righties, down and into righties, missing a little too much in that game. And she'll get the inside edge to a righty here. Strike 1 to Jolie Mitchell. Texas designated player flied out to center field her first time. She's been on base in 14 consecutive games. There really is no spot to catch your breath in this lineup. Mitchell drives one into foul territory, left side. That ball will get out of play.
Well, and to your point, no chance to catch your breath in this lineup because of their improvement of hitting a drop ball, rise ball, and curve ball. So look at that, hitting rise ball 307 as a team last year, this year hitting it 374 as a team. I mean, drop ball and rise ball split the zone vertically and are known as pitches that you want to go to versus as horizontal pitches of curve and screw. A huge improvement with Texas all throughout.
Back to the 2-strike changeup. Mitchell was on it. Mike White in his 6th year. Steve Singleton's his associate head coach. They are tremendous teachers of hitting and pitching. Mike White, one of the great pitchers to ever do it. Steve Singleton has really taken a big part in building the bats.
Well, it leaves no holes and no weakness whenever you face them, because when you look at drop, rise, curve, change, and screw, every single pitch as a team they hit over 300. Hit a changeup 326 as a team. It was just that drop, rise, and curve that had the biggest improvement from last year.
Good ball, good ball, good ball.
Tori Nyberg says, as we heard Alyssa say, your best is better than their best. Stanford's decision is pitch to your strength rather than another team's weakness. Probably a good thing, because there really is no weakness for this Texas team.
And Coach Nyberg just has to keep mixing against his team, too, to keep them off balance.
6 pitch to Mitchell, and a changeup has her off balance. 2 strikeouts, both on the change, and Kennedy escapes the 4th.
Really, there ain't nobody better when this changeup is working like the way it started to cook in this inning. 2 strikeouts for Nyjah Kennedy in the 4th inning, both with that change.
Still at 4. We showed you last night, Taryn Kern did not swing at a first pitch yesterday. She has not today. She has not swung at the first pitch in her last 207 plate appearances, 208. Here's the crazy thing. the first pitch to Taryn Curran is only a strike 53% of the time. You know she's not swinging.
Yeah.
And yet she's ahead 1-0, as she fairly often is. Set the Stanford record for walks this season. That's what happens when you only swing at a quarter of the pitches you see. The D1 average is 20% higher than that. She seems as comfortable taking pitches as anybody in the country. Out of Archbishop Mitty High School, is a San Jose native. Same high school as a great hitter Kaylani Ricketts, Mississippi State head coach Sam Ricketts. Curran swings away on 2-1. Up in the air to right, playable for Maloney. So it's been a relatively quick night for her. Only 9 pitches in 2 plate appearances. And Kavan has cut her down twice.
First time through the order, Tegan Kavan has looked sharp, picking up where she left off Thursday night against them.
Number 8, Kira Chan.
A 1-hitter on Thursday, a 1-hitter through 3 1/3 today. Ball 1 to Kira Chan. We heard Jessica Allister tell Alyssa she felt like her team was letting Kavan get away with the low strike early. See if the Cardinal can flip the script the second time through the order. That's put in the air to left. Dayton, a little more routine this time.
Well, remember how good Stanford was last night against UCLA, swinging early in the count. Really aggressive, and that's when they started to turn a corner early in the game, when they're trying to swing early in the count and not get 2 strikes.
Carter had 6 hits last night, 3 on the first pitch, 1 on the second, 1 on the third, and then 1 on the 5th. Gall takes a first pitch ball here. Stanford has shown us in this World Series it contains multitudes as an offense. Against Oklahoma State, 11 hits, 6 walks. Yesterday did not walk and still got 3 runs against Caitlin Terry and Taylor Tinsley, one of the best pitching combinations in the country. Gall in a green light count on 2-0.
I love the way that Ava Gall talked about this team and the energy. She felt like against Texas the first time they were kind of flat, and then whenever they came back out against Oklahoma State, she said, I just need to play with some heart, because heart is contagious. And I love that line.
We can throw numbers at you, and we have in the elimination games, is 26-3, but there is something to that. I mean, there is something intangible, something emotional, something spirited about this Stanford team, about the way they've played when they have needed to win to keep their season alive. 5 straight elimination games they've won. The all-time record in one postseason is 6. To get to the Champ Series, they'll need to make it 7 tonight and tomorrow. 3-2 is a high changeup, and Gall chucks her bat away after Stanford's first walk.
I mean, honestly, Kevin, you just start to get used to playing in the elimination games. The first one is probably the scariest and most nerve-wracking, and then they won it. And then when you face elimination again, it's not as scary because you've been there before. So, I mean, they continue to face elimination and look it in the eye and say, nope, we're not done yet.
Not today for Stanford. It's been not today. 5 straight elimination games. Ali Kaneshiro takes ball 1. Last year, Stanford dropped its opener at the World Series and won the next 2, shutting out Alabama and Washington before falling in a 9-inning classic to Oklahoma. What a sensational evening it is for softball. Doesn't feel as red hot as it can in June. Shadows covering about half the field.
It was a little bit cold this morning, believe it or not. I've never thought that I would say it was cold in Oklahoma in the month of June, but I will admit I thought that this morning at midday.
That's the kind of weather that requires people to go out, maybe get an extra blazer at the store if they're here for a little extra time. Not naming any names.
As an example of something someone might do.
That's right, just possibly. Oklahoma City, great town for blazers. Who knew? 2-strike pitch, freshman to the senior. Kaneshiro, not even close. Kevon struck her out twice. We thought we might get a pitcher's duel, Amanda.
And I'm loving every second of it. Kevon versus Kennedy. Kevon with her third strikeout. That rise ball and changeup is working, and man, she is looking confident tonight.
Oklahoma 9-3 today to set up a winner-take-all semifinal game tomorrow. Texas will advance to Wednesday's championship finals with a win tonight. Stanford forces a winner-take-all game if they come out on top. And it's 0-0 through 4. Nigeri Kennedy gutting it out for a 6th elimination game in the postseason, pitching for a 4th time in 5 days at the World Series. Tegan Kevon, the freshman for Texas, on the other side. They have traded zeros through the first 8 half innings. The top seed Texas, 1 win shy of a school record 55 wins, and trying to be the first team to make it to the Champ Series. Got a day of rest, kick back and watch the Gators and Sooners. Strike 2 for the number 9 hitter Ashton Maloney. Stanford has never been to the championship series. This is the 4th World Series appearance ever for the Cardinal. They've gone 2-2 each of the first 3. They'd be that with a loss tonight. Maloney, Dayton, and Scott for Texas. Perry way in at third for the slapper Maloney, who slaps it into the mid of Kaneshiro. And Kennedy has now struck out 3 of the last 4.
Hey, you see her have a good feel for this rise ball to move it away from Ashton Maloney, and it moves up a little bit on that lower level. Kind of screws away from her as well. Nigeri Kennedy, the 2nd time through the order, had 3 strikeouts in comparison. First time through, just had 1.
Now a strike to Bella Dayton. 3rd time through the order for Texas. They are as dangerous as any team in the country when they see a pitcher for a 3rd time. Just how dangerous? 417 average, 764 slugging, and 35 home runs. Third time through the order on Saturday. Texas exploded for 5 runs in the 4th inning against Florida. And there was no 4th time because the Longhorns run-ruled the Gators 10-0. Outscored their opponents 14-zip at the World Series. Dayton flailing for a changeup. And Kennedy's on a roll right now. That off-speed pitch has become turbocharged with 2 strikes.
And Bella Dayton chases this pitch out of the zone, and it is well out of the zone. Helps Nigeri Kennedy out. More of a defensive swing that never really looked like it was going to start as a strike or end as a strike out of her hand. That changeup is starting to feel good for her in these late innings.
Struck out 5 Longhorns in 6 innings on Thursday night. He's got 5 and 4 2/3. She's pumping strikes. It's only about 4 hours from Topeka, Nigeri's hometown, to here in Oklahoma City. She's got family members here, and if you are a neutral observer, you may well find yourself drawn into the National Player of the Year, Nigeri Kennedy, part of Stanford's self-proclaimed Nerd Nation. 2 trips to the World Series in the pre-Nigeri Kennedy era. Back-to-back trips in the Kennedy era. Elena Vaughter and Nigeri, a 1-2 punch last year. And she has done the heavy lifting this season in Oklahoma City, and she will stop herself off the field after striking out the side.
And the Stanford fans and her family absolutely loving it. This 5th inning, 3 up, 3 down, 3 strikeouts, 1 with their rise, 1 with their change, and another with the riser. On that pitch, throws it with good velocity, and his pitcher's duel with Kavan and Kennedy, 2 young aces, has been a lot of fun. Mike
White said he wanted her to keep her walks down after she walked 4 on Thursday. She's only walked 1. A 1-hit shutout Thursday against Stanford, a 1-hit shutout through 4 today. We have seen some ridiculous pitching performances by the freshmen here in Oklahoma City. Notably Kavan and Keegan Rothrock, who got the win for Florida, went the distance against Oklahoma today. In fact, Thursday, both Rothrock and Kavan threw shutouts. It was the first day in World Series history 2 freshmen had thrown a shutout since May 22nd, 1997. UCLA's Krista Williams, Washington's Jamie Graves. And Kavan pumping heat with a strike to Jay Berry. Her brother's here tonight. Her brother Jacob Berry, who was a star at LSU and was the 6th pick in the 2022 Major League Draft of the Marlins. Jacob playing for AA Pensacola team right now. Day off for the Blue Wahoos today, and pretty cool that Jacob could be here. Watch his sister try and extend her season. Her first year in college with the Cardinal. Down the line and right. That ball's well hit, but foul.
Kev, you just mentioned Jacob Berry in the stands. He's sitting next to his mom. They've been locked in this entire game, obviously cheering on Jade. I was told Dad is here, but he would be around the stadium pacing, which is one of the most softball dad moves ever, right?
That's the #1 softball dad move, I think.
I think so, but I also think Jacob looks very nervous.
Wonder if he looks more nervous at the plate or in the stands. I'm guessing in the stands.
I'm guessing so,
too. Helpless. 3-2 for Jade, who just put a good swing on one, and Kavan comes right back with a changeup and gets her looking.
This deceptive changeup gets a lot of looking strikes. Look at her follow through with her hand and her fingertips as she releases this pitch. Look at how she just follows it in with her hand with finesse and smoothness. That pitch is so good for her.
Tegan Kavan got the final out of the Super Regional round. 6-5 game, 2-on-2 out, threw a changeup to strike out Amari Harper, Texas A&M pinch hitter. Coke pretty well hit into left, but a lot of room out there for Bella Dayton. And it could be easy to say that one pitch, that one moment was a turning point. Maybe too easy, but Tegan admitted that 7th inning to close out the Supers was nerve-wracking, and she talked to Kat Osterman after the game. Kat, Texas legend, who has been a mentor to Tegan, and Kat told her soon it'll be 100 times this, and she felt like being in that situation would prepare her for the World Series, and boy has it ever.
Well, as Coach White put it, that they just threw Tegan Kavan into the deep end. They needed their full pitching staff in that Super Regional weekend. They had each other's back, and that is what has made Texas so hard to prepare for going into games and series, is that you don't know who's going to throw when. They've had 3 different starters that they can rely on, and each gives a different strength and a different look.
Down the left field line, River Mailer. Dayton sliding under the dirt. Took away another one. She lost the ball on the transfer, and the out is recorded by the fabulous Bella Dayton.
Oh yeah, that'll be out number 3. That was on the transfer all day. This is so smooth, going feet first into the wall. Bella Dayton plays this game fearlessly, especially on this field.
Really were not there. Longhorns scored 4. Kennedy walked 4. No walks tonight, even though she had a couple of 3-ball counts in the first inning. And she has now struck out 4 in a row and 5 of the last 6 Texas hitters. However, here come the heart of the Longhorns. Martinez, Atwood, and Stewart. And Martinez pops one up. Kennedy makes a call. Who needs an infield? Nyjah Kennedy puts it away herself, and Vivi's 0 for 3.
When Nyjah Kennedy faced Reese Atwood in her first at bat, this is it. You could tell how careful that she was being, working off the plate. Reese Atwood helped her with that swing, and then she struck her out with that pitch. Second time through, she split the zone vertically, showing her up and down and being able to jam her. But
Atwood, first pitch swinging here, and she drills one to center. Reese Atwood finally gets on top of Nyjah Kennedy. Hoots and hollers to the Longhorns dugout as Texas has its 4th hit of the game.
in her last at bat back in the 4th inning, Nyjah Kennedy got Reese Atwood jammed up with this rise ball that was inside. This was an out. What does Reese Atwood do? First pitch, she goes hunting that pitch, and her next at bat gets her barrel there, doesn't get jammed at all. That was maybe the best swing that we've seen from Reese Atwood here in OKC.
And she'll exit for a pinch runner, Adea Wallace, who has been the DRPR, the designated Reese pinch runner. She's appeared in every game in the postseason. She is the go-ahead run. And the batter, Katie Stewart, who's reached base twice tonight. Here comes Tori Nyberg after a first pitch ball.
I think that's an adjustment that Texas is going to start to make, is to work earlier in the count, to hunt pitches then and not get 2 strikes. Nyjah Kennedy, opponents are hitting under 100 off of her with 2 strikes, and they've had those 5 strikeouts in the last 2 innings going into this inning. So I'm sure that was the message from Coach White, Coach Singleton, Coach Zaleski. Let's start looking for pitches earlier in the count. Let's avoid trying to get 2 strikes, because then you have to deal with that rise ball up and that changeup down.
The 6th base runner for Texas tonight. They haven't brought any of them home. The first 2 games of the World Series, against Kennedy and Stanford and then against Florida, Texas was 10 for 20 with runners on base. They are 0 for 9 tonight. Strike called to Stewart, 1-2.
It's a big strike call too, a little bit off the plate inside. If you go inside to Katie Stewart, it needs to be there.
Hit by a pitch in the 2nd, doubled in the 4th. Ball. 2-2 in the 6th.
See Nyjah Kennedy looking back at her defense with a smile on her face, kind of nodding her head, because she loved that pitch location to Katie Stewart. That was just such a good take with 2 strikes by her.
Stewart well out in front of that changeup. Katie Stewart, a freshman from Frankfort, Illinois, with immense power. She will not display it. Strike 3, changeup. Number 7 for Nyjah.
She's just not scared to go back to back with this pitch. Even if she didn't throw it well the time before, she goes back to it knowing that she can make an adjustment. That inside corner with that changeup dropping down the speed to 58 makes her do the Nyjah stomp.
3rd time through the order. She struck out 3 out of 5. 2 down, Caden Henry. Ball. Henry's popped up a bunt, struck out, looking at a changeup.
Oh.
And she's hit a 2-0 count. Caden Henry hitting .524 off the rise ball this year. Will she get one she can handle? Oh, she popped it up. Will there be room? Yes, there will, but it's out of the glove of Berry. It just would not stay in the leather.
Caden Henry is going to get another chance, and you see Berry finding the dugout, and that it was in her glove, but just continued to spin out of her glove once it hit it. Missed opportunity for an out.
Texas given a second chance. And Henry swings through a changeup. And the pinch runner Wallace to second. Mailer was late to the bag, and Adea Wallace dashes to third. Her 6th stolen base of the year. And now Texas has the first run just 60 feet away.
Good pitch to run on, too, with it being a changeup. But you're absolutely right. River Mailer was late. That throw goes all the way to center field. And now, instead of just 60 feet, it's 120 feet and 60 feet closer to scoring.
2 strikes on Henry. To second. Gobbled up by Kern. She throws her out from a knee. And Stanford gets out of it again. The defense does not fail Kennedy on the final play of the 6th.
Stanford knows how to play in an elimination game. Every aspect of their game steps up. Taryn Kern, the sophomore, made the play for Nyjah Kennedy. This team is building momentum.
We're a lot more likely to get the former than the latter tonight. Nothing, Texas and Stanford. It's been an absolute dandy. Kevin Brown, Amanda Scarborough, Alyssa Lang, our entire ESPN crew. Texas advances to the championship series for the 2nd time in 3 years with a win. Stanford forces the if necessary game, which would be tomorrow with a win. And Tegan Kavan is just rolling right along. She retires Emily Jones. Tomorrow night, our next 2 ESPN films on some notable hockey moments of the last couple of decades. 7:30 Eastern. I'm just here for the riot. The story of the riots that took place in Vancouver after the Canucks lost Game 7 of the 2011 Stanley Cup Final, followed by no easy victories. The 1994 New York Rangers, an unprecedented look at how Mark Messier and the Blue Shirts won it all. Caitlin Lim had a home run and a win over Oklahoma State on Friday. 2 home runs in the tournament. Both have come in elimination games. 2nd highest slugging percentage in the lineup, down here in the 9 spot. Lim out in front of a changeup. That has been the pitch of the night, really, for both Kennedy and Kavan.
It's just the way that they sell it. I mean, they're continuing to pull hitters on that pitch. Look like the hitters look like they just cannot pick it up out of the hand.
Only the 65th pitch of the game for Kavan. Lim shows bunt. Wasn't a full-hearted attempt, and it's strike 2. Stanford team that has hit 2nd most home runs ever, most since 2005. And Lim, who has power, chases a rise ball for strike 3. Number 5 for Tegan Kavan.
Remember, entering this game, Stanford, as a team, hitting under 200 against the rise ball. Kavan gets a strikeout there and gets Lim to chase that rise ball out of the zone. 2nd time through the order against her, 3 strikeouts, and that's 5 on the day.
Now 2 down for Taryn Kern, who told us maybe I'll swing at the first pitch if the World Series is on the line. World Series is apparently not on the line yet. Kern is actually a much better hitter by average and slugging percentage when she falls behind 0-1 compared to when she jumps ahead 1-0, which is ridiculous. 0-1 counts, or after an 0-1 count, she hits .301, slugs .602. After a 1-0 count, she hits .235, slugs .368. However, she's now down 0-2. 7 home runs for Kern on the year, and she is called out. Strike 3. Looked like a batter pitch clock violation. Ends the at-bat for Taryn Kern.
So it's a 20 seconds on the pitch clock, and as a hitter you have to be in the box at the 10-second mark. There's the pitch clock down in the bottom left-hand part of your screen. She is taking her time, and Chad Steers going to call her out.
And these two young aces are unblemished with 1 inning of regulation softball to go. Alyssa Washington is going to reach base. A ground ball with maybe a little bit of unusual spin. That seemed routine for Taryn Kern. It will be an error to lead off the 7th.
Yeah, very well. Could have had a lot of spin on that ground ball because she just got so jammed on it, and Taryn Kern got ahead of herself. You can see that last hop, it is just spinning, hit off the heel of her glove and her hand, and it's going to be an E4. That great play that she made earlier in this game.
An unfortunate series of events for Taryn Kern, closing the last inning and beginning this one. A strikeout, not looking, if you will, on a timer violation, ended the 6th. Then just her 5th error of the season puts the potential game winner on to kick off the Texas 7th. Jolie Mitchell in the 8th spot. Mitchell takes strike 1. The Longhorns have only been shut out through 6 innings 3 other times this season. Oklahoma State's Lexi Kilfoyle twice, and once against Oklahoma. Mitchell squares to bunt, pops it up, and it bangs off the top of the net. After 4 years at Notre Dame, Jolie Mitchell came to Texas for moments like this. It's at a Rosebud, Arkansas. There's a Gatorade Player of the Year there. Went to the Fighting Irish. Had an OPS over 1,000 in her 3 years. Was a first-team All-ACC player. Known for getting on base. Hits, walks by any means necessary. She's reached base 14 in a row coming into tonight. And Mitchell hits a ground ball through the left side. A base hit. Washington's on her way to 3rd. Mitchell going to 2nd behind the play. And Texas is in business now.
Remember, Jolie Mitchell didn't get the bunt down, so she knew that she had to find a way to put the ball in play with 2 strikes against Kennedy, and she does it in a big way. Kennedy goes back-to-back with that changeup. The one that Mitchell hits with 2 strikes is up in the zone, and Mitchell hits it hard. Now 2 on for Texas.
Naylor was shaded toward the middle. Could not get to the ball, and then ball was thrown in toward 3rd, allowing Mitchell to take an extra base. And Ashton Maloney at the game-winning RBI in Game 2 of the Super Regionals, an elimination game for Texas, will try to give the Horns the lead. Strike 1 to Maloney.
If you're Ashton Maloney, your job right now is to put the ball in play, and if going up against a swing and miss pitcher, a strikeout pitcher, that's exactly what Nyjah wants, is a swing and miss and a K.
There's the bunt. It's laid down by Maloney. Kennedy to the plate. Washington is hung up now. Washington charging toward home. And she's safe. Texas takes the lead. A wild rundown ends in a Longhorn run.
The call on the field is safe. Stanford is challenging that call. The play is under review.
Thought this was such an amazing dive by Alyssa Washington to get her hand in there just before Ava Gall put the tag on her face, on her helmet. Look at how low Washington gets to just get her fingertips in there, and I think that she got in there safely. The captain, the senior. I think she just got her fingertips in there before the tag was applied. That toss was just a little bit late coming home.
After review, the play at the plate is upheld, safe. That is Stanford's first challenge.
Alyssa Washington, a kid who's dreamed her whole life of being a Longhorn, has just dashed home with the most satisfying 60-foot run of her life. It wasn't 60 feet straight, though. It was back and forth a couple of times. But Texas has the first run of the night on a bunt by Maloney and a rundown where Washington beat the tag of Gall.
This to me is why Texas is just so tough to beat, because we showed their home run power against Florida where they hit 3 home runs, won that game in run rule fashion. But when the home runs aren't coming and the power is not coming, they can always rely on their short game and their speed to put pressure on a defense. As Coach White said in his post-game presser, we just find ways to win and find different ways to win. We've seen them do it all postseason long, in the regional, in the super regional, when their backs were up against a wall, and now we've seen them find different ways to win and score runs in Oklahoma City.
It's a fielder's choice. Maloney went to second on the play, Mitchell to third. First time all season Texas has bunted in a second and third nobody out situation. Desperate times indeed. Here's Bella Dayton.
Ball.
Well, great barrel control by Ashton Maloney to get the top half of the ball and put it down.
Corners are still pinched in for Dayton. Would be pretty fitting if Texas made the Champ Series on a mad dash by the first captain in Longhorn softball history. 28 years, first solo captain Mike White's had in his 15 years as a head coach. Young woman who's been through a lot. Ball. Her dad Osiris passed away 3 years ago. Alyssa has dedicated her career to him since then. She had a home run a couple of days ago. She talked after the game about how emotional it was to have her mom here. Dayton will pop up left side. That'll be caught by the left fielder for Stanford, Danny Hayes, and there is one away. So a big first out for Kennedy, with more big bats looming, and Mia Scott batting. Jade Berry is barely budging, way in at third. First pitch. Popped up toward third. Berry will get to this one. And holy moly, if Nyjah Kennedy can get out of this with only 1 run allowed, it would be some kind of wriggle out of a straitjacket. But Vivi Martinez, who's been Texas's best hitter in the postseason, stands in the way. First pitch swinging, she pops it up. Curran will make the catch and end the inning. Texas gets an unearned run, but Alyssa Washington certainly earned it for all it was worth.
In a pitcher's duel, every single pitch and play matters. There was the error to lead off the inning by Taryn Curd, and then the dive home by the captain, Alyssa Washington, who put Texas on the board.
One hit on Thursday and is doing the same through 6 innings today. Kira Chan, the sophomore, will lead it off. Ava Gall, the freshman. Ali Kaneshiro, the senior.
Leading off for Stanford.
If anybody gets on, it'd be Jade Berry, who has the only hit and the best swings for Stanford. First pitch, strike to the left fielder, Chan. One hit, one walk. Nothing more against Tegan Kavan. 0-2.
She looks so sharp tonight. After that opening round game where she threw the one hitter, she said that she was really focusing on her breath and focusing on working with Reese Atwood, her catcher and good friend.
Everybody clap your hands.
The sophomore class for Stanford has really carried them here. Curran and Chan, Mailer and Jones, and of course Nyjah Kennedy in the circle. Very tight-knit group, trying to play at least one more day of softball in 2024. Ball one to Chan.
Been so efficient too. Tegan Kavan has, Kevin, at 73 pitches, and we're already in the bottom of the 7th inning.
For 125 against Stanford on Thursday. Her 74th will result in a strikeout.
Seems like Tegan Kavan has just pitched with that nothing to lose mentality all throughout this game. From the first pitch to here in the bottom of the 7th, that changeup has been working all night long.
Freshman versus freshman. A little high to Ava Gall, who is the last Stanford batter to reach. She walked back in the 4th. This young starting infield, Gall, Kern, Mailer, and Berry, they've started together all but 4 games. Gall with a bouncing ball to Washington. Plays it out cleanly and puts Texas to the brink of the Champ Series. Stanford's most impactful senior. A veteran on this young team, Ali Kaneshiro, stands in the way. A big rip from Kaneshiro for strike one.
Now batting catcher number 4, Ali Kaneshiro.
She was a freshman. Montana Dixon, class of 2021, took her under her wing, became a tone setter, taught Ali how to be one. This 4th-year starter has set the tone for Stanford all season, trying to keep her career alive. No swing by Kaneshiro on a late appeal to first. John Backus says it's ball one. Leads the Cardinal with 11 home runs. They've all come against right-handed pitching. A ball and a strike from Tegan Kavan. Popped up by Kaneshiro. The third baseman, Scott, sends Texas back to the championship series. 2 years ago, they were the first unseeded team to make it to the championship series. Now, Texas is back as the top seed and playing like it. The Longhorns will await Oklahoma or Florida Wednesday night with their first title just 2 wins away.
Their offense has just continued to find different ways to win. They are so tough to go up against, and with the way that Tegan Cavan and Mac Morgan have thrown here at the World Series, and their defense has played back behind them, they've been so tough to score against. Not giving up a run at the World Series.